GT Challenge. We are at Circuit de Spa Francorchamps in Belgium. I'm with my partner PX7 Rodrigo. How you doing
Hello,
today,
everyone.
Rodrigo?
Really good, really good. I know I say this a lot, but I'm really excited. This is such a historical track and suffered a lot of changes in layouts, of course, over history, but this is what we have today, and it's a really exciting track, and I'm sure the racing will be up there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And just to let everybody else out there know that we had GTC1 and GTC2. It was great in all the divisions so far. And from what I heard, neither one of us have seen this race, and we don't know what actually happened. So this will be a treat for us as well. And it's going to be pretty interesting here because the other two divisions put on such a show on Demo One Garage, who broadcast those for us. But it looks like Spa did not disappoint. So we're in for a treat here, I'd say, Rodrigo.
Yeah, I agree on that. We see a big variety of cars initially in the top five, everyone in a different car, so I think that's interesting too. We'll see who can come out on top.
Yeah, and one other thing, there has been a few drivers that did not make it, unfortunately tonight. Amuler driving the NSX. There were a couple other notable ones that were not there, so we don't have a full 15 car grid, but I believe we have 13, and this is Magic Man for Rockefeller in the vet, is his first race in GTC3. So that's something that has taken place with the roster change. So he'll be looking to battle it out with BDRT J-Rod, and Magic Man will start at 0 points. But leading the championship is TPRT and Chio, and nicknamed Chio, we call him Nomas and Chango. I'm sorry, TPRT. It's Chio. But yeah, so Chio is leading the championship. He's been pretty dominant in that Supra. He has his partner Mdez with him tonight, but he does not have Ali GP, who is there behind him in the standings. And then it will be our man from RWB, Red, White, and Blue, Racing V Francisco. So he's on pole right now. So let's get things started right now, Rodrigo. Ready? We're going to start 1, 2, 3. And here we go.
Okay.
Lights are flashing, and Francisco's on pole.
Yeah, he's starting on the hard, so that's pretty interesting. I don't think you want to start on those tires because you're gonna get swallowed by the pack. But here we go, ready?
Yes, especially with those vets
Taking
off the
that
line.
decision. And we're off. A little bit of smoke kicking up from the leader. Vets on the inside, and Magic Man gets up into P2. Takes the racing line away into turn 1 from that side, and let's start.
Some
taking
guys.
the runoff apparently. Yeah. Taking up action in turn 1 if you need. There's a big runoff right there. And up for Rouge. Here we go.
We got two Porsches up our Rouge, battling it out with one wing.
Yeah, I think one wing has made a move done on M-Dave. That's a pretty ballsy move into a Rouge. And yeah, he gets up into the top 5, so that's good racing.
Magic Man
going
going
to
for a
lead.
move.
Yep, can he hang it in there? Oh, Francisco breaks very late on his hard tires. Well, Magic Man is on the soft, so that, yeah, he held it together. Now he's gonna hold up the pack a little because he's on the hard tires, but we see a lot of cars together in the first lap.
Yes, Magic Man needs to get around him ASAP, because the longer Francisco could hold him there, the better it's going to be. Oh, one wing!
Oh, one wing has caught the afterdraft and he's gone out and around and out of contention, even though along, but for now he's out of contention totally. That's
on the racing.
Big mistake, that's costly. Yeah.
He just clipped the curb. He had just clipped the curb and got tossed into the barrier. Very easy to do at a track like this. And on the cold mediums. Back at the front, though, Mdez running wide, but look at this pack that Francisco is creating here. Let's go through. We know Francisco's on the hards. We got Magic on the softs. Got Death Scythe on the medium, doing a really good job of hanging tight. The draft is key at Spa. BDR TJ Rod also on the same strategy on the mediums. You have mediums for Mdez, mediums for Enchango, that's the top, and Chio, I'm sorry, top 6. Anubis on the mediums. Again,
Yeah,
Cupcake on the mediums.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought, now there's a lead change, but yeah, I was gonna say very quickly, I thought that it was a bad decision from Francisco to start on the hard because he was gonna get swallowed by the fact, but he's managed to hold them up one glorious lap because, you know, his soft tires can probably go 2.5 seconds faster than the hard, so he's held the pack for really long and he's getting rid of his hard tires, so that's
and he
really,
gets sideways really coming out of T1, and he loses the position of Death Scythe, but he's going to have J-Rod breathing down his neck. Let's take a ride up by Rouge with J-Rod, see what J-Rod could do in the slipstream.
Oh, a little bit of a push from Gio. He's taking it really easy into Rouge. But let's see, now with the slipstream, it's V8 motor, macro motor.
Oh, Francisco going defensive.
Yep, and here we go. Breaks him a little bit of a lockup, but no, they both leave each other room, respect each other, and yeah, that's good racing again.
That is, and you know, these mid-engine cars around Spa are actually really good, especially the R8. So Francisco in third after being on pole. He's doing a really good job. I mean, he did lose the 2 positions as Magic Man starts to run away with this race right now, but Francisco's done a really good job so far holding these guys off. And there goes J-Rod around the outside. Tough place to pass.
He won't make it into Bullhorn. He won't make it, but yeah, try as you might. That Francisco is making his race as wide as possible, and let's see into a little bit of contact, but still they try to go right around the outside, but he concedes the spot for now.
And we have another fight going on just behind.
He found the inside.
He has.
Down the inside, leaves him room. Oh, leaves him too much room and just doesn't go quick enough on the exit. But yeah.
J-Rod needs to do what he can to get in front of him.
Here we go. Yeah, the R8 just looks like a sitting duck on the street. I think that's a bit weird. I know that the car isn't really good on top end. Whoa!
What a save
from the pole, man. Yeah, he catches the car at the fastest part on the track, Blanchimon, and yeah, a little bit on the afterburst. It can happen just like that, but he manages to save it, and yeah, good racing.
You know, Francisco's got to be pretty happy with where he's at right now, being able to hold those guys up so far on the racing hards. That will probably pay dividends for him, and he might get passed again. We did have a battle actually between Anubis and Cupcake, and Anubis got in front both in the Mazdas here, so everybody's still line abreast through, and you have One Wing who managed to get in front of Cannoli on the hards and Mac on the hards, along with Big Red.
And the team leader has got the move done in the chemistry fairly easily using the top end of the Toyota Supra. And yeah, he's up into P4 as Francisco as he should, because he's on the harder combat of tires. He loses another spot, but still, it's lap 3 and in such a slower race tire, he's hanging on into the top 5, so I gotta give it up to him. He's driving really well today.
Yeah, and you know, that does split the TPRT drivers who have been working in tandem for every round this season so far, and they've done it to perfection here. So Francisco under pressure from Mdez now, and Anubis not too far behind, along with Cupcake hanging in there tight as well. So Francisco needs another 2 laps. I don't know if he's going to get another 2 laps, Rodrigo. I mean, if he could hold this lap off before our Rouge, he can pretty much, you know, be happy with that, I would think.
Yeah, the Porsche doesn't really have an amazing top end, just like the R8 doesn't, so it's gonna be easier to hold up than a Supra or a Corvette, so I'd like to see about that.
Yeah, and he's got the again.
Oh, he's got into the AstroTurf again. Yeah, it doesn't seem to lose much speed, and another great save from the four-seater.
He's got to be careful through here with these hards on. He's just got to take it easy and defend his position here. They run.
Mdez goes really fast through Blanchimon, and now Yeah, Francisco goes transit into the bus stop. Oh, here comes Anubis with a dive. Pretty clean move, I must say. Leave room and cannot get it done in but yeah, that looked pretty.
That was good defense
yeah.
by Mdez though. That was, but that
yeah,
just bought Francisco slightly more time, but not too much. As we'll take a ride on board and with Mdez and look at this draft that he could get through Arouge up through Radion and see if he could actually get an overtake here on Francisco.
Yeah, I think that it gets a little bit unsettled, but I think that it still has.
Here come Anubis behind him. So Mdez going defensive.
Yeah. Chio goes down the inside of J-Road 2 as Anubis is trying to get out that move on Mdez. Ooh.
Anubis, what a great move.
Goes around the outside. Oh, he gets there.
Oh
no. Oh my goodness. Out and around. Looked like he got a little bit of wheel spin after contact with Mdez, but great move from him though, I must say, but got it wrong very quickly.
Yes, that was a great move, and you know, Rodrigo, that couldn't have worked out any better for Francisco, because now he's got Cupcake only to deal with, and he's got one more lap left. So, wow, that was a great move by Anubis coming into the first part, but he hit the curb. That looked like a racing incident to me. Nothing you could do about that.
Yeah, I think that initially there was a little bit of contact from Mdez, but then they both just kind of connected with each other or whatever, and yeah, Anubis dropped the power, but still, I think that if I were him, I would be kind of mad about it, but then he'll see it back and he'll understand what's happening. Just gotta get together
and Mdez did slow down a little bit, trying to give the spot possibly back, but now you have one wing looking to overtake him in two Porsches here going head to head. And
yeah, I think that Mdez lifts up a bit and tucks in behind.
So all in all, one wing back to 7th place after falling dead last after the first spin, and then you got Big Red. So we have 3 911s battling it out here. Really tough racing going on here. Mdez getting a little sideways again, but Mdez makes the move again and cuts one wing off. Another great move by Mdez. These guys need to really try and work together here through Rouge. One wing getting a little wide.
He goes back at him. Oh, Mdez went a little bit wide and one was able to take the racing, a little bit of contact, but I think that's a decent pass. That's a really good pass. Into a Rouge and
Cupcake is going to get the move done on Francisco here. You would imagine he does. The Audi does have top speed, but not. He gives the hazards and he does get around. So all in all, Francisco has done his job so far, but Cupcake in 3rd place. I'm sorry, 5th place. That's a good move by Cupcake. One wing still holding 7th and holding Mdez off for now. Let's get a look at the leaders, though. Magic Man in his beautiful-looking C7 Vet. And shout out to Magic Man for making all the Rockefeller Racing liveries this season. And I know special shout out to Nataku for making all the BDRT liveries out there. Really nice looking liveries from everyone. Everybody else who made the liveries for your teams, I'm sorry, but they all look amazing. They really do. TPRT, everybody's RWB, they all look great. When we get back to this though, Magic Man on the softs, he's down 1.2 seconds on his lap, but if you look at where Death Scythe is, he's about 5 seconds ahead. So Magic Man was able to really pull away here after that great start, and we have now a real battle here with the 2 medium tires. And that's worth mentioning that Death Scythe is on the mediums while Magic is on the soft. So we'll see how long Magic goes. Will he go for the 5s? No, he'll stick out another lap. Okay, so we'll see.
The guys behind. P2, P3, and P4 have come into the pits to get rid of their medium tires. We'll see what they put on right now. I'm guessing they're gonna put on the softs maybe to try and close in the gap with Magic Man, who has been flawless so far to pull away so much. That's exactly what you need to do on the soft tires.
Oh, Death Scythe is going racing hard.
That's interesting. I think that, let's see, most of the BDRT guys have gone hard, so they are following each other. J-Rod, who was first, has gone into the hard too, as
he has.
Really interesting. So they are just gonna go.
So did Chio. So now this is an opportunity for One Wing to actually make a move here if he can find the speed to get ahead of these guys on the medium tire. Now One Wing's doing more than the minimum, so again, for everybody out there, you must do minimum. This is getting chinky in here. I'm sorry. He does get the move done on J-Rod. I think J-Rod might have just let that happen, but Chio's going to be under pressure now here, and Chio's a very talented driver, and that Supra has speed, but this Porsche is really nimble around Spa here. But just once again, for everybody at home, the rules are in SFR you must use the racing mediums and the racing hards for a minimum of at least 5 laps. You could run them harder, as you see like One Wing is doing right now, and really the only tire worth doing that on is the mediums. You won't want to really do that on the hards unless you have an extreme lead and it plays into your strategy, like we saw from TX3 Cooper last race. He ran 7 on the hards, but the softs are unlimited after that here. So One Wing is really starting to pressure Chio, but Chio has the talent and he has the pace, even on the hards in that Supra, to actually hold off One Wing right now. So it's fresh hards to warm a little bit of warm mediums. Let's take a look at the leader. Magic Man going around again, so he's...
Yes, 7 laps on the soft. I think that he's running it a bit too far, if it's him. So he's already lost 2.4 seconds, and I don't know if it's really convenient for him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out for him. It may,
yeah,
but...
One Wing is in.
Yes, we got One Wing in. You can see Magic Man's tires, though, really starting to get worn out here. Let's see what One Wing does here. You got Big Red behind him. Anubis is in as well.
Yeah, let's see. Out of the pit, One Wing is gonna be in the...
He's going
in the heart. It's gonna go for 5 laps in the heart.
Cupcake getting loose. He got loose around T1, and that gave Francisco on the softs a major run, as Cupcake is on the hard. So Cupcake was getting used to those hards, trying to get them warm, and they pulled the old not warm enough yet, and he got a little sideways, and that gave Francisco a great run. What did Mdez do? Mdez did hards as well.
Here we go. Paul Peterman is under the attack from One Wing. Francisco is attacking One Wing in the soft, while One Wing is on new hard. So they make a bit of contact, and now side by side into this short straight. There's a little bit of door banging here, but yeah, they keep it side by side, I guess, and now down into No Name the next corner. They make contact, and One Wing has gone out and around, and he's done a nice 360 to be fair to him, so that's a nice save, but
that was a great save.
Yeah, a little bit of contact from Francisco and One Wing. I think it was a bit of unfortunate for One Wing to go off into the AstroTurf. It's a really tight track, but
yeah, I think One Wing. One Wing was. You got to keep in mind, One Wing was on the hards coming into No Name, and I think Francisco on the softs. You know, he was trying to get the move done. They had a little door banging there. That's going to be one for the stewards to look at. I mean, from looking at first view, it looks like a racing incident. But we got the leader in the pits. Let's see what Magic Man does now. So he ran 7 on the softs. He still needs to take mediums and hards. And that vet is sucking down fuel. He's got 52%.
Here we go. The pit. I'm going to guess he's going to go with the hards now. Yep, he has a big gap and can afford to use the hard. Actually, Death Scythe is also on the hard, so I don't see my thought right now. So this is playing into his hands quite beautifully right now. yeah, there's a tight battle for second. Only three cars you can say 2 seconds apart. But yeah, good job from Magic and see how he can do.
Magic's pit crew must have been in his ear, letting him know that Death Scythe and Chio were on the hards, because that was a good move for him to take the hards with that lead.
Indeed, yeah, I agree with that. And
he's gonna have, what would you say, maybe one extra lap to do on the hards than the BDRT guys, as we're taking a look at J-Rod right now. Let's go through the field one more time. Go ahead, I'm sorry, Rod.
Alright, sure. No, yeah, Magic Man, I was gonna say, came into the pit lap 7, so he's gonna have to go to, if I'm not mistaken, lap 12. Yeah, lap 12, I think. And yeah, that's gonna hinder him a bit, because the BDRT guys can pit lap 10, because they pit in lap 5. Yeah, they pit in lap 5, so they're gonna get decent undercut on Magic Man, so we'll
yeah,
see about this.
You can see in the distance that Death Scythe is not too far off. I mean, he's got Chio to deal with, which is no easy task, and Chio has made up some pretty amazing ground on Death Scythe. If you recall, Chio was in 5th place battling, and he's really made up some ground on Death Scythe here. He's only running 9/10 slower on the hards than he started on with the medium. So Chio, again, getting rid of the lesser compounds first, which has been the unpopular strategy through the other divisions, but it seems to be really working out well for TPRT, as he's starting to really close in Death Scythe here. I really want to get into the bus stop. Let's get it on board with Chio here and see what he could do against Death Scythe. And that Supra, he's got decent amount of fuel, so he's naturally saving fuel with the way the Supra drives and shifts. But let's see what he could do through our Rouge and Radeon here, and see if he does go for a move, or if he's happy to just stay behind and play that patient game. As you see, you gotta lift a little bit when you're on the hards. Already in 6th gear in the Supra, and you see Magic Man in the distance, and I think Chio is going to go for it. A good move by Chio. I think Death Scythe just kind of let that happen, and it might now be Death Scythe's turn to just play that drafting game, which is ever so important here at Spa. You must draft with each other, because if you lose that slipstream, you are a fish out of water. Well, let's take a look. Chio's got about a half a tank, and look at that. Death Scythe has about 15% less fuel. I mean, two Toyotas going at it, but naturally the FT1 does burn more fuel than the Supra. But if you look at Chio, he's got half a tank on the button, and Magic Man, going back up to him, has, again, similar to what Death Scythe has. And let's take a look at the other vet with J-Rod. He's doing a little bit better job by himself with really no slipstream, saving some more fuel. So Francisco, it's worth noting here, Francisco's on the softs, and he did take a quick splash in the pit, so you have to look out for him now, because he's got fuel. He seems to settle down. He's got the hards out of the way. He held everybody up in the beginning and managed to hold his own, so it's a pretty good position for him. We'll go down to 6th place, and we got teammates battling each other now. We have One Wing and Anubis. Anubis is on the softs. One Wing
gets out of the way.
Yeah, that's good teamwork there. That's really good teamwork. And that could be hard to do, especially after the incidents that One Wing has been in so far today. You want to make up so much time and get your positions back, but Anubis has had some pace today. Let's not underestimate him either.
Yeah, Death Scythe, I don't know what has happened, but if I recall correctly, he was right behind Chio, but he's lost around like 8-7 seconds, and he's dropped behind Francisco, so that's really, really strange. We didn't catch it on camera, but maybe a spin or a half a spin or He just
Yeah,
went straight on into the battle, but he's lost a lot of time.
I think you might be right. It must have been the bus stop that happened here. So for Deathscythe, because yeah, he was ahead of Chio. So and maybe Chio did make a pass in the bus stop. And again, it's so easy to lose control on the hards. But what Deathscythe needs to really do right now is he needs to stick the best he can to Francisco's bumper so he doesn't lose the draft. And his teammate J-Rod, so I mean Deathscythe lost 3 positions. That's rough. That's really rough. So we didn't see what happened to Deathscythe there, unfortunately, but yeah, he lost it. And it's, you know, Francisco's got a little bit of worn sauce, but it's gonna be hard. Deathscythe and the BDRT guys should be coming in this lap, you would figure, which will release Francisco.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it will release Francisco, and Magic Man will continue on his hards. But for BDRT, they're going to be released now on softs the rest of the way, and I believe Chio will as well. So let's take a look at Chio here and see that if he's going to come into the pits this lap, because he's not that far behind Magic Man right now, as he's shown some tremendous pace on the racing hards. So, yep.
And he does go into the pits indeed. So now he should be. I don't know. Sensible thing to do would be to put on the softs indeed, as J-Rod also comes in, and F5 also comes in, and everybody comes in, and I think they can pull it off on Magic Man. They can get a good undercut on him.
Yeah, I believe that you're right. And Francisco is not going to be able to beat Chio out, or is he? Ooh, this is going to be close. Francisco just got him.
Yeah, but now Chio has a pretty long straight to use to his favor. A fast car, the softer tires, or I must say the newer softer tires, and now into the Chemo straight. He puts the power on the Supra. He's going the middle of the track now to the inside, and you're gonna have to go the long way around into sector
Chio's
2
gonna
and get them done.
Yeah, very
good racing.
Chio's gonna run away now. Now Chio is gonna run away.
For 5th place, One Wing goes to the inside of J-Rod, maybe make the move. No, it's better of it. J-Rod is on the soft, on new soft. One Wing is in slightly worn, barely worn, hard tire, so I don't see him really being able to make that move.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything. Anubis, though, on the softs, up in the 4th place. Really good run from him. As you can see, damage all over his front bumper. We don't know exactly what that was from, but he's maintained pretty well here, and he's doing pretty well. We know he started on the mediums, if I'm not mistaken. It was either the mediums or the hard. We will see, but he's going to have to watch out because J-Rod is coming fast and in a hurry here. Let's go through the field here. So, again, we'll go from the top again. Magic Man is about to get rid of his hards in another lap, and he'll have the mediums to do left. Then you have Chio, who's all done from TPRT and the Supra, all done with his minimum tires. So he's softs for the rest of the race, which is going to be a big problem for everybody, and the undercut on Magic Man. Then we have Francisco, who is on the softs in 3rd, making a good recovery drive after a little bit of an accident, and as he goes into the pits now.
Yep, he's into the pits, and now he's gonna have to use, I assume, the medium tire, since he was a full seater. He started on the hards, and now the last required tire that he has to use is medium tire. So we'll see about it.
And One Wing is getting rid of his hards as well, so One Wing will be on softs the rest of the way. Another splash from Francisco. J-Rod's gonna get him out of the pits, and Francisco back on the softs.
Right, so we're out into 4 right now, and behind cars. Well, actually, J-Rod has easy mounts, like they don't swear, because EDRT already used both compounds. Francisco still gets to use the medium, so we'll see what he does about it.
Yeah, J-Rod is in really good shape actually here because J-Rod has used, like you said, and really all the BDRT drivers have used both minimum compounds, and Francisco still has to use the mediums. And Magic Man is going to be coming in here this lap, you would assume, and he still has to use the mediums. So this is really setting up really great for Chio, but also setting up really, really good for J-Rod, who managed to overtake his teammate in that problem that Death Scythe had, which we think was in the bus stop. And J-Rod's sitting pretty on the podium right now. And
yeah,
I don't...
go ahead.
I don't think Francisco... I was just going to say, I don't think Francisco is going to be able to get... Unless he gets on raw pace, which is possible... I don't think he's going to be able to get that podium from J-Rod, but we still have a long way to go. We're not even halfway, or just about halfway through.
Yeah, and J-Rod is really interesting because he has taken quite a bit of fuel. I know he was 2 seconds, 3 seconds off from Q, so he's taken a lot of fuel, and now he doesn't have to take as much on the next one. So he might save some time on that.
Magic Man is in, and that just released Chio to take the lead now. Magic Man taking fuel. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be out way behind right now. So he's now soft on hard, and now out in the mediums indeed.
So he did go mediums, and he actually still held his second place. How far is J-Rod behind? Not that far. J-Rod on the soft, so that did work out for Magic. On the mediums, he's got about a 5-second lead, give or take. Yeah, not that much. Maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds. It's really hard to tell. But if we take a look here at J-Rod on his bumper, you can see Magic entering to the turns right now. I'm gonna say that's probably about a good 3-second lead right there. So this is gonna get really interesting as J-Rod is on the softs, Magic is on the mediums, and out in front we have Chio, who was on the softs, and he just ran a 2:17.2 his last lap. I think
really impressive.
Very impressive, and honestly, I think barring some sort of catastrophe, knock on wood for commentator curse, but Chio is just going to be, he's going to be, well, a blip on everybody else's radar because he is just, his strategy, again, I mean, he went hards to mediums, and then he got him out of the way, managed to hold up through the beginning of the fighting and through the first few laps, and it worked out again for him. I mean, he didn't even have to battle anybody for first place. He stayed behind. He overtook I believe he overtook Death Scythe at one point on the lesser compound, and then he just jumped Magic Man in the pits, and this man is just putting in quick laps. I mean, he might be on for a 2:16 here. Just missed it. 2:17.3.
Chio is really impressive because BDRT has done the same strategy, exactly the same strategy, but he has been the one able to pull it. Well, but something that we need to point out is that the gap that he has, the lead is a little bit deceiving because he hasn't received it. So I don't think it's over yet, but it's looking really good for championship leader, if I recall correctly.
You do. As Anubis takes to the pits, and Magic Man in second now, going through Orange. Let's see if we can time it here. Rouge and J-Rod. J-Rod's pulling him in pretty quick here, so he's out of the slipstream, but he is still within a decent range. Let's see how much fuel. Magic has a little bit more fuel than J-Rod. This is gonna be a close one to the end. And Francisco doing a really good job of holding on with some good softs, some new softs. He's holding on to J-Rod here, so And, you know, J-Rod's got to do that as well. He's got a lot on his mind right now. A, keep the car under control. Don't burn through too much my tires. B, I want to try and catch Magic Man and rail him in on the mediums while I'm on the softs, as Francisco gets a little wide, but he saves it. But again, J-Rod is also looking at Francisco behind him, and he's got to be able to defend him. So this is not an easy task for J-Rod. This is all the things that are going through a driver's mind. But the most important, as you know, Rodrigo, is that you must stay focused on your lines, and especially at a track like Spa, you cannot overdrive the car, and you just have to stay focused on that. But a lot going through J-Rod's mind right now, as all these drivers.
Indeed, it's a really tough track indeed, but also a really long race. So you just gotta, you don't need to drive as fast as you can, but you need to drive as fast as you can over 25 laps.
Exactly. Let's get a update through the field here as this goes on. Dead Scythe on the soft. So he, after his little incident where he lost second place, which was really net third to J-Rod, he's hanging in tight in the FT1 in 5th place. One Wing making a pretty impressive comeback after, again, falling to last on the grid. Then he did a 360 with Francisco, and that was an amazing save that he had, and he's hanging tough in 6th place right now, and he's got both of his compounds done and dusted. Then his teammate Anubis in the Mazda is in 7th. Again, he's on the hards, so he's losing some time here, but he's doing a pretty good job here, I must say. So he'll be released after this stint with the racing softs to the end. Then you got Cupcake, who's on the softs. He's pretty good to go on fuel, which is going to help him out a lot. And he's on a different strategy than what Death Scythe is on. I believe he's on the same strategy as J-Rod. Then in 9th place we have Mac for Rockefeller in the M6. Doing a pretty good job inside the top 10, and he's crawling up on Cupcake actually right now, so Cupcake's got to be careful as Mac getting everything out of that 5th gear, not using 6th gear there, and he's handling this car pretty good. Let's go for a quick little ride with Mac and see how he handles some of these corners here. Not using any traction control. Oh, a bit of lag there.
A lot of lag.
So we'll move on from that. Yeah, we'll move on from that. It looked like he just disappeared, and I don't know if we lost Mac or not.
I don't think we did, but I'll tell you what, Rocky, and there's a freeway battle at the moment, and all these cars have pretty similar pace for a second place. J-Rod has closed down the other Corvette of Magic Man, who's got a medium, so that would be expected to run off. And through the bad stuff, this looks pretty exciting to me. So without Camel straight, a really long straight, what happened?
And Francisco right on the back of him, so yeah, this is looking really good for J-Rod actually, who's got both of his compounds out of the way. Let's take a ride with Francisco and see what happens through everything through here.
Well, it looks a bit too far from J-Rod, but right now J-Rod using the slipstream, putting it to Magic Man. I don't think it's close enough right now to make the move, but it's a look. Here we go into the entry of the second sector, and he cannot get it done, but he's gonna look to get it. Oh no, Magic Man gets loose. I jinxed it, he got it. That's it.
Well, now Magic Man has to do his work and keep Francisco at bay. So yep. Magic Man demoted to 3rd.
Yeah, let's see. Running very similar pace to J-Rod just a few laps ago, but now they are being separated by Magic Man. Magic Man is gonna look to hold off Francisco, I guess, as he has a pretty similar skill to Magic Man. So I think that these two can meet again probably at the end of the race. So Magic Man has got to keep it on the track for now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what lap Magic is able to come in on, as Francisco looks to get a move side by side. He backs off wisely. Oh, Francisco might be going to the inside here.
No,
and
get it done, but now there's a long straight. There's a long straight down into Blanchimont and then the bus stop, and for the hardest braking of the track. And here we go. A great overtaking opportunity, and then get a good run for Blanchimont, a little bit of a lead, downshift into fifth gear. And side by side around the outside, that's gonna be tough, but he will side by side takes the outside. Now it will be
and Magic Man, I don't know if Rodrigo has left or not. I'm not sure what happened there. Don't know if we have Rodrigo with us at the moment. Hopefully he can come back in, but what a job by Magic Man, able to hold off Francisco here. Wow. And unfortunately Francisco just ran completely off track. And that gave Magic Man a nice cushion there. That's just unfortunate for Francisco. One wing coming up here in 5th place. Death Siphon 6th on fresh softs. Anubis is now on the hards. Cupcake is on the softs. Early Mac on the softs. Mac is actually catching up to Cupcake. They've been having this battle. Mdez, something must have happened. He was battling in 5th for a long time. And something must have happened with Mdez here. You have Cannoli on fresh softs. Doing pretty well, and Big Red as well doing pretty well as Chio enters the pits here with 1 liter of fuel left. Let's see what he does. He's definitely going to have softs, we know that. J-Rod comes in, so J-Rod was able to get in here with a lot more fuel. Magic Man stays out.
Alright, here we go. Hello everyone, I'm back.
Yep, sorry about that, Rod. I don't know if that was something on my end or on your end, but
I could still hear you. I was still in the party, but I heard you say that I wasn't there, so that got me pretty weirded out. So I thought I'll leave and rejoin. But yeah, that was a pretty exciting moment in the race. J-Rod and Francisco. Francisco has got the move done around the outside on the back stop, so it was really good. But Magic Man just kept a cool head and got him back into turn 1, and then Francisco just completely misjudged his braking into sector 2 and run off. But now, okay, we're back into live feed, I guess, and cars coming into the pits and exiting the pits. Taking and I think this is gonna be their final stint. And won't have to pit him.
Would you be able to tell me, Rod, if or anybody out there that might be watching the stream here, sorry we haven't gotten to your chat, if you are chatting in, but is everything still okay with the stream? Because I did see something pop up when you left. I just want to make sure that everything is still going a-okay.
Everything is running smoothly at the moment.
Okay, very good. So what happened was, while we left here and we got a little out of sorts, was Chio entered the pits. We'll get back to this in a second. Chio entered the pits, was able to take fuel to the end and get back on his softs, and Magic Man's still out on the medium, so he's going to definitely need to come back in, get his softs to the end, and top off on fuel. Now you have One Wing, who made a great move on J-Rod on softs. J-Rod's on fresh softs, but One Wing takes a step into the podium right now out of nowhere, but you'd figure he's going to have to come in, and you know he's going to have to come in for fuel. He's giving J-Rod the flashers there. I don't know why exactly, maybe letting him know that he might be pitting, but J-Rod has fuel to the end, and he's on softs, I would believe, until the end. Now, here's Magic entering the pits. This is going to come, Rod, this is going to come down to Magic Man and J-Rod for that second spot, I believe, because One Wing has just entered.
Yeah, these two guys were driving together before, and Magic Man was doing really well on the mediums to hold off for a bit, hold off J-Rod for a bit, but now he's gonna have to take the stops, and let's see.
And
not
there
gonna
it
be
goes.
close. Not gonna be close at all, but he's got one lap pressure soft, and a bit more fuel in the tank to use, so the gap only looks like 4 seconds, and there are 7 laps to go. 7 laps to go, so definitely quite a bit of time to close that gap down for Magic Man.
Magic Man giving us the headlights there. I don't know, letting J-Rod know he's coming for him. Yeah, Magic's got to be careful though. Again, this is Magic's first race in GTC3, so he will only be scoring points from this race moving forward. But again, through the field here, Chio is on an absolute tear and looks like he is secured first place as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. And he's got the fastest lap of the race, Rod, at 2:17.2, which is a blazing time in GTC3. Not too far off is J-Rod at a 2:17.9, so a really another competitive fast time. Magic, I believe he was in the high 2:17s, but that was earlier in the stint with less fuel. So in third place, chasing down J-Rod. Now we got a crazy battle here between Francisco and Death Scythe. Francisco's on the mediums, Death Scythe is on the soft. Let's go on board with Death Scythe here and see what he could do. You would figure that Francisco dealt with a lot of pressure earlier today in the beginning of the race, but Death Scythe is well in hand with that slipstream, so...
Yeah, but I don't think Death Scythe is really looking to attack Francisco. I think he still has one stop to go because those stops are looking pretty worn already, but might try to go to the end. Let's see. Now into the bad stop, he's actually trying to attack him, so that's really interesting, but I would say he's gonna have to wait till the camo straight for Rouge, because that's gonna give him a good slip and a good run into the entry of the second section.
Indeed, indeed. Francisco leaving. Look at that smoke coming out of the left rear of that Audi R8. It's so cool, but it's not the best thing in the world, because that means that your brakes are locking up and you're spinning.
Yep,
here we go.
Up into a Rouge. Oh no, Francisco gets loose. This just makes life a bit more easier for Death Scythe. I think he's gonna be alongside it. Barely alongside into Camo straight. It's outside, but Death Scythe is fully ahead. He's made him done.
He got him. And that's actually not a horrible thing for Francisco, due to the fact that Francisco, as long as he could stay into the slip and hang on to Death Scythe bumper, he could still possibly make a move on these mediums towards the end, but he's got to be able to try and stay in the slipstream. And Death Scythe is probably kicking himself right now, because he actually should be, I mean, it is part of racing, mistakes do happen, but he should be where J-Rod is roughly right now, if not in front of J-Rod. But this is getting interesting too, as Magic has cut that lead from J-Rod from about 5 seconds down to about 3 seconds in one lap. So he's taken about 1.5 seconds off in one lap. And looking at J-Rod's tires, they are not that bad at all, but he's got another 5 laps to go, 4.5 laps to go. So this might play out to Magic's favor here. We're gonna have to see. And
Yeah,
Chio just exits the bus stop.
I'm looking at the TV camera right now. As I'm looking at the TV camera right now, I really love this kind of the first see the car behind, but then he just starts sweeping into the TV feed, into the live feed, and we're so closer. And I think it's gonna come down to final 2 laps, if not the final lap. It's really, really interesting to see as these guys have been together for great part of the race. So.
Oh, look at that. That's Scythe and Francisco through the bus stop. Francisco tried to make a move, and he's going for another move. Death Scythe defending the inside here.
Let's go. He's got good acceleration into turn 1. And into Lazor, side by side. Can he break Death Scythe? No, he's looking to get the run into turn 2, but Death Scythe just parks the car perfectly in turn 1. Doesn't let Francisco get a good exit, and Francisco is gonna have to wait until the demonstrate.
Ooh, look at them both coming over. Really, really sketchy. It could get coming through a Rouge.
Here we go, using the straight speed of the Audi R8. A little bit too far back. No, he lifts off the accelerator a bit, and lets Death Scythe have the spot for now.
And he's giving Death Scythe the headlights that I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. It is worth noting that if you look at Death Scythe's soft tires, they are pretty worn compared to relatively fresh mediums. So although the mediums are a slower compound, Francisco, they're probably around the same pace. If we look at lap times here, last lap from Death Scythe was a 2:19.4. And you have a 2:19.9 from Francisco. So this isn't over yet. Let's get a good look through the field here.
No, in second place right now, Magic Man has caught up to J-Rod after a little bit of a mistake down into Uno. J-Rod just went a bit too wide into the SFR, got a little bit sideways car. That has allowed Magic Man to be within half a second. And yeah, Magic Man looks to get the move done probably earlier than expected, but this is gonna go down to the wire, and it's looking pretty exciting to me.
It is indeed. It is indeed. And well, like you said, a little mistake there, and that's all it takes. And you got, look at this. We have V8, C7 power against each other as the disc light up red hot going into the bus stop. Magic Man really looking composed here, but so is J-Rod. This is going to be pretty two evenly matched drivers here. And what more can you ask for in the same car?
Yeah, the same car, similar skill level out of La Source right now. And to the Ruddy on a roof sequence, and Magic Man again pretty close. And he's gonna have to take that section.
We're on board with Magic Man. J-Rod just got wide coming through a Rouge up the hill.
What a run from Magic Man. He's gonna be side by side. He's gonna have to go. No, he just gets the inside. J-Rod doesn't really put up much of a fight. And will J-Rod try to hold it? No, he just lifts off a bit and gives up the spot. No, he doesn't. He tries to outbrake him. But Magic Man has got the move done.
Yeah, and you know what? J-Rod, well, I was gonna say J-Rod might have let that happen without putting up crazy defense to maybe make a move towards the end of the race, but it's so hard to tell. I don't know. These guys have quicker, one's quicker in one section, the other's quicker in another section, so it's gonna just come down to consistency right now. And what a battle we have going on here. I mean, it does look like J-Rod wants it back though, so maybe I was wrong. He didn't give that to Magic Man at the top of Radion.
Now into chicane, into the Campus SS, tries to go right around the outside, but no, he cannot get the move done. Picking up his lines, driving really well these two guys, but I think that J-Rod is gonna have to probably settle down and wait until this is straight, and if not here, he might get it done into a Camel.
And we missed it here, but Francisco has gotten ahead of Death Scythe here, actually, and One Wing is really closing in on Death Scythe as well. So Death Scythe is on some really worn softs, so Francisco did get the overtake done on the mediums, and now Death Scythe has to worry about one wing. And here's Magic coming across, still in the lead in second place, and he got a really good run out of the bus stop, Magic did. So J-Rod needs to bear down a little bit and stay within that slip, which he is in, and it looked like J-Rod got a better exit out of T1. So this is very, very interesting here. And during this process, Chio has checked out. 2 more laps to go for this guy, and he will be still in number 1 in this division, and another outstanding performance for Chio. But getting back to where the action is at here, again, I have a feeling here that this is not done and over with yet. While we have a second, Rod, I would like to look at what's going on here with Francisco, Death Scythe, and One Wing here, because Francisco clearly got the overtake on Death Scythe, but Death Scythe is not safe by any means. Look at how worn his soft tires are, and he's got One Wing on basically fresh softs. Now, I don't know if that was a mistaken strategy by One Wing, or he's just that good in saving his tires on less fuel in the Porsche, but Death Scythe looks like he might be a sitting duck right now to One Wing in the 911. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is actually pretty impressive from One Wing, as he's coming to the pits in lap 10, so he's already done 19, 20, 21st and 22nd lap, so he's gonna complete his 5th lap really soon with the soft, so he's taking care of it really, really well. I think, well, not Death Scythe, I think he's really falling off. I think he hasn't really nailed the strategy. He's gone way too long on the soft, but I think that Francisco and
there it is.
Death Scythe, I think that Francisco and One Wing can get really close towards the end of the race. So we'll see how much.
Yep, and so One Wing has made the overtake on Death Scythe. Really great job coming from last place. He's in the top 5. Death Scythe just needs to keep it on track now. Cupcake, he was doing really well. They were on all the same strategy, but it just still a solid 7th place right now. Anubis in the Mazda as well. Still really solid jobs by these guys. And we got Mac again in 9th place. MDez has fallen off, and something must have happened with MDez because he was on the same strategy as Chio, and we know what happened with Chio here, so we couldn't get a look at everything, but...
Yeah, sorry, just to cut you off right now, and J-Rod, even though on the older tires, of course, he's packaging them really, really well, and he's really close to Magical now to get it down into less comp. We're gonna go right now, the entry to the 2nd sector. He's gonna get alongside on the outside, and things better right now, but we've only a lap and a half to go. These guys so evenly matched on the same car, same compound of tire and everything, but these guys, they're gonna have a battle till the end, as J-Rod is probably gonna get a little bit desperate right now to get the boots done.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you take a look at the tires, it is basically almost spit and image. So the tire wear is really, really close. Let's get on board with J-Rod and see just how this battle looks and how it unfolds here on the penultimate lap, excuse me.
Yep, no problem on that, but Chio on another planet right now. He's so going down the back straight into Blanchimont, and he's gonna get into the final lap, but I think that all the credit to him. He's absolutely dominating, but we're gonna have to really, really close together right now.
Yeah, this is some intense racing right now. As you can see, the throttle control from J-Rod, not wanting to over push it, knows he has to be patient here.
He's made a mistake into Blanchimont has J-Rod, but he's gonna have another clear chance where he doesn't really have to support. But yeah, he's gonna have another chance to less comps after the chemistry. So here we go. Fast up and final lap.
Yep, final lap that we are on. So, the battle for second position, we know that one of these two drivers are going to be on the podium, and Chio, barring some mistake, as we said, will get, I believe it's his third victory in as many races. So, a dominating performance from him, although these guys have put up tremendous fights all day. And real quick, we will go away from this just for 1 second to get a quick update. Francisco is in 4th place comfortably. I don't think One Wing's going to be able to catch him. One Wing in 5th, Death Scythe in 6th, Cupcake in 7th, Anubis 8th, Mac 9th, MDes 10th, Cannoli 11th, Big Red 12th, and yeah, so those positions look pretty solidly firm right now. And here we go.
Yep, these two guys wrestling their cars for the track down into no name. There are only a few corners to go for J-Rod right now, but it doesn't look good for him unless Magic Man makes a mistake. But yeah, right now he's not really too close, but he gains a little bit through Hon as Magic Man runs it wide.
Yeah. Magic made a little mistake there, and now J-Rod right back on the bumper.
Yep, and here we're going to Stavelot. Or I must say, here we're going to Stavelot right now. And yeah, he has his final chance, doesn't J-Rod, into the back straight through Blanchimont.
Look at
and
this.
I think he's gonna get alongside. He's got a really good run and a really good Superman. Magic Man has left the inside open into Blanchimont.
And Chio takes victory. Congratulations,
Chio has
Chio.
taken victory, but second place battle right now.
Magic went wide.
J-Rod. Oh, not any contact right there. J-Rod, really good move. Magic Man goes down the inside with a great dive bomb. Little bit of contact, but he gets the move on.
Wow.
It did go down to the wire.
Unbelievable.
Magic Man gets it done. I think that J-Rod left the door a little bit too open. It was just an invitation for Magic Man, but
Francisco 4th, One Wing 5th, Death Scythe 6th, Cupcake coming home. Not his best results of the season. He's been a front runner pretty much all season. Anubis has a podium as well. These guys pretty evenly matched today in the Mazda. And you got Mac in 9th. So another solid top 10 finish for the man in the M6. MDes in 10th. Cannoli in 11th from RWB. And Big Red in 12th. There were some outstanding battles throughout the whole field today, but I'm telling you guys, this was something else here with Magic Man and J-Rod. Rockefeller and BDRT. And again, you can't count out Francisco either. Death Scythe is probably kicking himself a little bit as Big Red takes the checkered. Wow, though, Rodrigo, I'll tell you what, that was one of the most interesting races that we've had all season here. As a few things to note, as we have Chio, who basically continues his dominance in the Supra. Now, not to knock anybody's driving from the Supra, but we know it's a very fast car, but it is a twitchy car, so it is still all about the driver, and Chio is really putting on some dominant performances. Again, he didn't have his partner Ali GP tonight, and he had MDes, which MDes and him were following each other the whole race. MDes got into a little contact, and that's what happened from a few of the guys, and it does happen. So it's unfortunate. Rubbing is racing, and sometimes you come on the short end of the stick, but it was a really good job for those guys that were involved with incidents to make good comebacks. Off the top of my head, One Wing and Death Scythe, for example. But congratulations to Chio, but what a job from Magic Man and J-Rod. It was amazing. It really was amazing.
Yeah. I must say that at the beginning, I didn't think that the race was that entertaining, but in the end, it was all coming together with the tire compound rules, of course, and everybody well, there was a battle for second, and I think it was One Wing and Francisco who were a bit close in the end. So I found that a bit entertaining to see, and yeah, I think that we quite enjoyed that race. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, and we had Francisco, the pole setter, starting on the hards. So it just goes to show you how the strategy does really play a big implement into what is going on the racetrack. The amount of laps that you're running, of course, but what you start on is key. Maybe in hindsight, Francisco will look back on it and say, had I only started on the softs, I would have been able to get out a good lead and stick with the front guys and not have to put up a battle. But on the flip side of that, he did hold up a lot of the field, and he only lost 2 to 3 positions at lap 3 or 4. So it's so up in the air. It's so hard to really figure out. And he did have a little bit of an incident with One Wing, but One Wing was on the short end of that stick, so I don't think that really hampered Francisco as much. But again, it comes down to strategy. It comes down to fuel saving, and there's a lot that goes into it. And like you said at the beginning, it gets a little exciting at first. There's a little bit of a lull in the race, and then all of a sudden, at the end, things start to catch fire. So I think this was another solid performance for the GTC3 division, and what a job! I gotta tip my hat to Magic Man and J-Rod. That was an outstanding battle. And Magic sent it at the end. It was probably a little bit aggressive on Magic Man's part, but you know what? When you're in that position, you gotta send it, and it wound up being pretty clean, if you ask me.
Yep, I think it was. There was a little bit of contact into the chicane, but yeah, the lights just came together. Daryl tried to, and Magic Man was on the inside, but it was really, really exciting. I think it was all clean. It was clean all around, and a great move from Magic Man and a great battle from these two drivers.
Yes, congratulations again to everybody. Thank you all for being part of the SFR GT Challenge Season 3. I can't believe we're actually on Season 3. Everybody out there in the GTS community that does support us and watch our races and just, always shows us support. We thank you so much. It is 4th of July tomorrow, although this race did take place on Sunday. Rodrigo and I are streaming it today. But yeah, I just hope everybody out there has a safe and happy 4th of July. Those of you that do celebrate it, just be careful. Just to give everybody a quick heads up, we are off for this week. In all divisions, so there will be no GTC1 on Sunday. We will return at Barcelona on July 12th, and that's going to be for GTC1 on July 12th, and the other two divisions will follow the following week. But that's going to be a 33-lap race. Another interesting, crazy battle take place here, and we'll have all the standings updated shortly. But we can tell you this much right now, that it looks like it will be guaranteed Chio is in first place in the GTC3 division. And J-Rod just made a significant jump, because remember, Magic Man, it's interesting, Rodrigo, because for him coming into this division here, before we get out of here, just to let people know, he doesn't have, there's 2 drop rounds, so out of all 12 rounds, only your best 10 races count. So Magic Man technically already has 2-0 scores. So it was really important for him, and it will be important for him to continue to actually have good finishes. So that's how that works, and that just gave J-Rod definitely some serious points there. So I think if I would be accurate in saying a guesstimate would be the top 3 would be Chio, Ali GP, both from TPRT, and then it would be J-Rod from BDRT. I believe those are the top 3 places right now, but we'll have an update for you on all that stuff, the standings, the team standings, and everything when we get back from vacation for the 4th of July. And before we get out of here, Rodrigo, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks to all the drivers for racing, of course. I know firsthand from like it's tough for Rocky to put on the races. It's tough to organize a league, so to see the reward on the racing on having sometimes a full grid. Today we unfortunately couldn't have a full grid, but I must say you all put on a great show, and it's really my pleasure to commentate on these races.
Yeah, and it's our pleasure to have you as well. You've been part of the SFR family from day one, and it's also worth giving everybody out there noting that Rodrigo is now basically an official of the SFR GT Challenge, and he is actually going to be doing, and he has been doing, a lot of the reviews of incidents, and we do take on pit violations here in our league. So Rodrigo is now stepped into that role to help us, and it's greatly appreciated from you, Rodrigo. So it's great to have you on board. It's great to have you having been with us for so long, and we really appreciate everything that you do. So. Anybody could follow that up in the league on Discord. If you have any questions, you could always tag me or Rodrigo. But yeah, that's about it. And we hope that everybody has a great 4th of July, and we will see you July 12th. Thanks, Rod.
Well done. Are we done?
Mm.